Confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about showing off, chasing approval, or trying to prove your worth to others. Real confidence is calm, it's steady. It's the quiet power that makes people stop and notice without you having to demand their attention. And the highest form of confidence is this: when nothing shakes you, nothing provokes you, and nothing controls you. Most people go through life reacting to everything, to criticism, to rejection, to chaos, to the opinions of others. And every reaction takes away a piece of their power. But when you learn to react to nothing, you stop giving away your energy, you become untouchable. You move through the world with a kind of presence that is both rare and dangerous. The kind of confidence that cannot be faked. In this audiobook, we will break down exactly how to build that kind of confidence. You will learn how to silence self-doubt, control your emotions, detach from outcomes, and carry yourself with the authority of someone who needs nothing and fears nothing. Each chapter will give you practical steps and timeless truths that, if applied, will transform not just how you feel about yourself but how the world responds to you. This is not about pretending. This is about becoming. So take a deep breath, clear your mind, and prepare to step into the strongest version of yourself. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Stop explaining yourself. One of the fastest ways people drain their confidence is by constantly explaining themselves. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself giving long, unnecessary explanations just so people wouldn't judge you? Maybe you were late, and instead of simply saying "thank you for waiting," you launched into a 5-minute speech about traffic, your alarm, or how your phone died. Or maybe someone questioned one of your decisions and you felt the need to justify every detail just to feel understood. Here's the truth: confident people don't do that. They don't live in apology mode. They don't scramble to prove themselves to everyone. Why? Because they know their worth is not up for debate. When you stop explaining yourself, you instantly project strength. Your words carry more weight, your presence commands more respect. Now, I'm not saying you should become rude or dismissive. This isn't about arrogance. This is about knowing when to keep it short, clear, and firm. Instead of justifying every move, you learn to stand by your choices. If someone asks why you're doing something, you don't need a full essay. A simple, confident response is enough. Think about how powerful it feels when someone says, "I chose this because it's right for me," and then stops. No over-explaining, no backpedaling, just calm certainty. That's confidence. Every time you explain yourself unnecessarily, you send a silent message: I need your approval to feel okay. But every time you keep it short and let your cheese stand on its own, you send a louder message: I don't need your permission. Here's a challenge for you for the next week. Catch yourself in the act. The moment you start piling on excuses or long explanations, stop. Replace them with something simple, firm, and direct. I can't make it, I've decided. Go this way, that doesn't work for me, and then be silent. Let the silence carry the weight of your confidence. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel the urge to fill the space, to justify, to soften your words. But with practice, you'll discover something life-changing. The less you explain, the stronger you feel. People begin to take you more seriously, and most importantly, you begin to take yourself more seriously. Dangerous confidence begins with this small but powerful shift. Stop explaining. Stop over-justifying. Trust your choices. Stand by your words. Because at the moment you no longer feel the need to explain yourself to everyone, you've already taken your first step toward becoming untouchable. Chapter 2. Master your inner voice. If you want to become a dangerously confident, you have to start with the voice that speaks the most to you, the one in your own head. That voice is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. It's either building you up or it's tearing you down. And here's the thing most people never realize. The way you speak to yourself in private eventually shows up in how you show up in public. Think about it. If your inner voice is constantly saying, "I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, people are probably judging me," how do you think you'll act when you walk into a room? Nervous, hesitant, small. But if your inner voice says, "I can handle this, I've done harder things before, I'm exactly where I need to be," you walk into the same room taller, calmer, and sharper. Same person, different voice, and that difference changes everything. Confidence doesn't start with applause, achievements, or attention. It starts in your mind. It starts with words you allow to echo inside your head. You can't control what everyone says about you, but you can control what you repeat to yourself every day. The mistake people make is waiting for life to validate them before they change that inner voice. They think, once I succeed, I'll feel confident. Once people respect me, I'll talk to myself better. But it works the other way around. You don't wait for proof. You create proof. You start speaking to yourself like someone worthy of respect, and then your actions begin to follow that belief. Here's the secret. Your brain believes repetition. Whatever you repeat to yourself becomes your truth. Say you're weak long enough and you'll start to shrink into weakness. Say you're capable, strong, and calm long enough and you'll start to rise to meet those words. The inner voice is like a thermostat. It sets the temperature of your confidence. If it's low, you'll always sink back down no matter how much outside success you taste. If it's high, you'll rise above challenges because you believe you belong at that level. So how do you master this inner voice? Start by catching it in the act. Pay attention to the quiet lines you whisper to yourself during the day. When you mess up, do you say, "I'm so stupid"? Or do you say, "That's okay, I'll do better next time"? When you look in the mirror, do you find every flaw? Or do you remind yourself that you're showing up, you're improving, and you're worthy? These small moments shape everything. The goal isn't fake positivity. You don't have to tell yourself you're perfect. Dangerous confidence isn't about lying to yourself. It's about speaking with strength even when things aren't perfect. It's about choosing words that build, not words that destroy. For example, instead of "I can't handle this," you say "This is hard, but I'll figure it out." Instead of "I always fail," you say "Every setback teaches me something that makes me stronger." When you start directing your inner voice instead of letting it run wild, you'll notice something powerful. You'll stop reacting so harshly to challenges, criticism, and rejection. Why? Because your mind is already trained to back you up. It becomes your strongest ally instead of your worst critic. Let me give you a challenge. For the next 30 days, every morning, tell yourself 3 things out loud. "I respect myself. I can handle anything that comes today. I don't need anyone's approval to move forward." It may feel awkward at first, but say those lines every day and watch how your body starts to carry them. Watch how your energy changes in conversations. Watch how you walk into situations differently. Your inner voice is the foundation of your confidence. Master it and you won't just appear confident, you'll feel it in your bones. And once you feel it, no one can take it from you, because here's the truth. Confidence isn't what happens when others believe in you. Confidence is what happens when you believe in yourself first, and that belief begins with the voice inside your head. Chapter 3. Build respect before confidence. Every kind of lasting confidence starts with one simple truth. You cannot feel powerful if you don't respect yourself first. Respect is the foundation. Without it, confidence is nothing more than an act, a mask you wear to convince others while deep down you're still unsure. But when you build real self-respect, confidence stops being an act, it becomes who you are. Think about how you treat people you respect. You listen to them, you value their time, you trust their decisions. Now ask yourself honestly, do you treat yourself the same way, or do you kid yourself down with criticism, ignore your needs and allow people to cross your boundaries because deep down you don't see yourself as worthy? The truth is, the way you treat yourself sets the standard for how the world treats you. If you disrespect your own time, others will too. If you speak poorly to yourself, you'll tolerate others speaking the same way. But when you start showing your self-respect, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, people around you sense it. They respond differently, and that is where dangerous confidence begins to take shape. Self-respect doesn't come from big achievements. It comes from the small daily choices that tell your mind, "I matter." Keeping promises to yourself, following through when you say you'll do something, not settling for situations that go against your values. Each act of respect you show yourself builds strength inside you. When you wake up early because you said you would, that's respect. When you walk away from a toxic conversation instead of trying to win approval, that's respect. When you set a boundary and hold it, that's respect. Every one of these choices may look small on the outside, but together they create that deep, unshakable feeling that you can trust yourself. And once you trust yourself, confidence flows naturally. Here's the key: respect yourself first, and the world has no choice but to adjust. You no longer beg for recognition, you no longer explain or prove your worth, you know it. And because you know it, others see it. So if you want to build confidence that lasts, don't start with fake pep talks. Start with respect. Start with the way you talk to yourself, the way you carry yourself, and the way you hold yourself to a higher standard. Confidence without respect is empty. But respect that is practiced every day will eventually overflow into confidence so strong it cannot be broken. And once you've built that, no one can take it away. Chapter 4. Kill the need for approval. One of the biggest traps that steals confidence is the constant need for approval. You know what I mean? That itch inside that asks, do they like me? Do they agree with me? Am I good enough in their eyes? It's subtle, but it controls so many people's lives. They dress not for themselves, but for what others might say. They post on social media not to share, but to be validated. They chase compliments, avoid criticism, and feel crushed when someone doesn't clap for them. Here's the problem. When your confidence depends on approval, it will always be fragile, because approval can be given and approval can be taken away. One moment people are cheering for you, the next moment they're criticizing you. And if your self-worth rises and falls with their reactions, you'll live like a puppet pulled by strings you can't control. The truth is, no one in this world owes you approval, and no one's opinion should have the power to define you. When you kill the need for approval, you free yourself. You stop chasing applause and start focusing and living with authenticity. You stop bending your life to fit other people's expectations and start building a life that feels right to you. That's where dangerous confidence comes from. Think about the people you admire the most. Are they the ones who try to please everyone, or are they the ones who stand firm even when people disagree? It's always the second group, because real strength is not in being liked by all. It's in being respected for standing true. Now let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with enjoying praise. There's nothing wrong with being happy when someone appreciates your work. The problem comes when you need it, when you depend on it to feel valuable. The moment you depend on it, you hand over your power. You give other people the remote control to your emotions. And let me tell you, people change channels fast. So how do you kill this need? Start small. Practice saying no without explaining. Practice making decisions based on what you know is right for you, even if others won't understand. Remind yourself daily their approval is optional. My self-respect is not. You'll notice something powerful when you stop chasing approval. At first, some people won't like it. They might call you arrogant, selfish, or stubborn, but stay steady. Because in time, those same people will begin to respect you more than they ever did when you were bending for their acceptance. Why? Because people may enjoy it when you seek their approval, but they admire when you don't need it. Dangerous confidence is born when you walk into a room and don't wonder, will they like me? Instead, you think, do I respect myself and how I show up here? That shift changes everything. It takes you out of the role of performer and puts you in the role of leader. The world doesn't need another person begging for likes, chasing applause, or waiting for permission. The world respects the person who doesn't need any of it, the one who moves forward with or without approval. The one who lives as though they already have everything they need inside. And that can be you. The day you stop chasing approval, you step into a new kind of freedom. You stop reacting to every comment, every look, every bit of criticism. You start living on your own terms. That's when people notice you, not because you ask them to, but because they can't ignore someone who doesn't need their validation. And that right there is dangerous confidence. Chapter 5. Respond with silence, not motion. One of the greatest signs of confidence is not how loud you can be, but how quiet you can remain. Most people believe strength is about having the last word, about showing everyone how smart or sharp they are. But true strength is often the opposite. It's the ability to stay calm, stay silent, and not pulled into every emotional battle. Think about it. How often do people lose their power because they couldn't keep quiet? Someone criticizes them and they snap back. Someone disrespects them and they explode. Someone challenges them and they rush to defend themselves. In that moment, they think they're showing strength, but really they're showing that their emotions are in control. And when your emotions control you, your power is gone. Silence, on the other hand, is disarming. It's unsettling. When people expect a reaction and you give them nothing, they don't know how to handle it. They push and you don't move. They attack and you stay steady. That's what makes silence powerful. It shows that you are not easily shaken, that you cannot be manipulated. Now let's be clear, silence doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It means you choose your responses carefully. It means you refuse to waste energy on pointless battles. When you respond with silence instead of raw emotion, you buy yourself time to think. You give yourself space to decide if the situation even deserves your attention. Imagine someone trying to provoke you. Maybe they insult you in front of others, expecting you to blow up. Most people would take the bait. But if you stay calm, if you look at them and simply choose silence, suddenly the spotlight shifts. They start to look foolish, not you. Why? Because you've shown that their words didn't penetrate. You've shown that you are in control. There's another layer to this. Silence not only protects your power, it also makes your words stronger when you finally choose to speak. If you speak less but with calm authority. People listen, they know you don't waste words, they know if you're speaking it matters. That's how leaders talk. That's how confident people carry themselves. So how can you practice this? Start by noticing your triggers. Pay attention to the moments when you feel your emotions boiling. When someone criticizes you, when they disagree, when they mock, that's the moment to pause. Don't rush to react. Breathe. Let silence do the work for you. 9 times out of 10, you'll realize that you don't even need to respond. And in the rare times you do, your response will come from strength, not impulse. You don't owe everyone a reaction. You don't have to defend yourself every time someone questions you. You don't have to fight every little battle. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing at all. Silence is not empty. It's full of power. Think about how this changes the way people see you. The person who reacts emotionally is predictable, easy to control. But the person who can stay silent, calm, and unbothered, that person is dangerous because you can't push them around. You can't get under their skin. You can't break their focus. Dangerous confidence is not in shouting louder than others. It's in standing tall while others shout at you and you don't move. It's in choosing silence when others expect a storm. It's in showing that your emotions belong to you, not to anyone else. The next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, remember this: silence is your shield, silence is your strength, and silence is your power. Use it and you'll discover just unshakable you can be. Chapter 6. Let your body speak first. Before you ever open your mouth, your body is already telling the world who you are. People see how you walk, how you stand, how you sit, how you look at them. And in just a few seconds, they've already formed an opinion long before you've said a single word. That's the silent language of confidence. And it's often louder than anything you could ever say. Here's the truth. If your words and your body language don't match, people will always believe your body. You can say, "I'm confident," but if you're slouched over, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting with your hands, nobody buys it. On the other hand, you could say very little, but if your posture is strong, your eyes steady, your movements calm, people feel your presence. So what does it mean to let your body speak first? It means you walk into a room like you belong there. It means you stand tall, shoulders back, chest open, head held high, not in arrogance, but in quiet certainty. It means your handshake is firm, not rushed. It means you make eye contact without flinching, without darting away, without apologizing for being seen. Think about the people you naturally respect when they walk in. They don't have to announce themselves. They don't have to prove anything. Their presence says it all. That's not an accident. That's body language. Your body is always training your mind too. If you sit small, you feel small. If you carry yourself like you're hiding, your mind starts to believe you should hide. But if you sit upright, if you expand your posture, if you move with purpose, your mind receives the message: I am strong, I am steady, I belong here. The mind and body are connected. And if you want confidence, sometimes the fastest way to shift your mind is to shift your body first. Now don't mistake this for acting or pretending. This isn't about faking who you are. It's about removing the signals that sabotage you. It's about cutting out the habits that make you look uncertain. The hunched shoulders, the nervous fidgeting, the darting eyes. Those little habits send out silent messages that you don't even notice, but others pick up on immediately. And once you cut them, you start carrying yourself differently. Here's a practical tip. The next time you walk into a room, pause at the doorway, take one calm breath, straighten your posture, roll your shoulders back, lift your head slightly, and then walk in at a steady pace. No rush, no hurry. Just presence. That single adjustment changes how people see you and how you see yourself. Another tip, practice holding eye contact. Not in a creepy, overbearing way, but in a calm, steady way that says, I see you and I'm comfortable being seen. Most people break eye contact too quickly because they feel insecure. Train yourself to hold it just a second longer. That second communicates confidence without a word. When your body speaks confidence, you don't need to oversell yourself. You don't need to push too hard to be noticed. People simply feel it. And here's the secret, when they feel it, they treat you differently. They listen closer, they respect your space, they trust your words more. Dangerous confidence is not about shouting louder. It's about walking into a space with such quiet certainty that people can't ignore you, even if you never raise your voice. Your body tells the story before your mouth ever does, so let your body speak first. Train it to send the right message. Walk tall, sit steady, look people in the eye, move with intention, because when your body communicates strength, your words only need to confirm what people already believe. That you are someone worth listening to. Chapter 7, Stop Reacting, Start Leading. Most people live their lives in reaction mode. Something happens and they respond. Someone criticizes them and they defend themselves. Someone disrespects them and they snap back. Someone praises them and suddenly they feel good about themselves. They are constantly at the mercy of whatever comes their way. That's not confidence, that's dependency. And as long as you're reacting, you're not leading. Think about it. The person who reacts is always one step behind. They're letting the world dictate their mood, their energy, their choices. But the person who leads, they set the tone. They decide the direction. They don't wait to see what happens before they act. They create what happens. That's the difference between living as a follower of circumstance and living as the leader of your own life. Here's the hard truth. When you react to everything, people learn how to control you. They push your buttons and you respond right in cue. They know what words will make you angry, what actions will make you defensive, what silence will make you insecure. But when you stop reacting, when you stay calm and steady, suddenly those same people lose their grip. They can't manipulate you anymore. That's where confidence begins to look dangerous, because you become untouchable. Leading doesn't always mean leading others. It starts with leading yourself. It means choosing your actions instead of letting them be chosen for you. It means setting the pace instead of trying to keep up with someone else's. It means asking yourself, what do I want to create here? Instead of how should I respond to what just happened? Let's make this practical. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone challenges your idea. The reactive person defends themselves right away, sometimes even with anger. The leader pauses, listens, and calmly responds with clarity, or sometimes chooses not to respond at all, but to redirect the conversation back to the bigger picture. That single choice shifts the whole energy of the room. Or think about relationships. When you're reacting, you're constantly adjusting to someone else's moods. If they're upset, you're upset. If they're happy, you're happy. But when you lead, you set the emotional tone. You stay steady regardless of their swings, and often they follow your calm instead of you following their chaos. Leadership is not about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself so completely that you influence everything around you. People naturally follow those who are steady, who are clear, who are not tossed around by every little wave. And you don't need a title, a position, or a spotlight to be that person. You just need discipline over yourself. So how do you shift from reacting to leading? Start by slowing down. Don't give your emotions the driver's seat. Pause before you respond. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want here, and how can I create it? That 1 second of thought can completely change your direction. Next, set intentions before situations even happen. If you're about to walk into a stressful environment, decide in advance, I will remain calm. I will speak clearly. I will not let anyone push me off balance. When you enter with that mindset, you lead the situation instead of reacting to it. And finally, remember this. Leading isn't about proving yourself, it's about owning yourself. You don't have to win every argument, you don't have to control every detail, you just have to control you. That calm, centered control is magnetic. People can feel it, they start looking to you without you ever asking for it. Dangerous confidence is born when you stop giving the world the power to dictate your actions. When you stop reacting to everything and start leading with intention, you rise above the noise. You stop playing defense and start directing the game. And once you make that shift, you're no longer at the mercy of life, life is at the mercy of you. Chapter 8. Embrace discomfort until it feels normal. Confidence is not built in comfort. It's built in the uncomfortable places most people try to avoid. Think about it. The moments that made you stronger were never the easy ones. They were the ones where you felt nervous, unprepared, maybe even afraid, but you stepped forward anyway. That's where growth lives. That's where dangerous confidence is born. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort. They choose what feels safe, what feels familiar, what doesn't stretch them too much. But the problem with that approach is simple. If you always choose comfort, you never expand, you stay the same, you play small and deep down, you know it. That's why so many people secretly feel insecure, because their lives have no proof of their own strength. Confidence is not about telling yourself you're strong. It's about putting yourself in situations that show you that you are. When you embrace discomfort, you collect evidence. Every time you step into the unknown, every time you do something that scares you a little, you walk away with proof. I can handle this. And the more proof you gather, the more unshakable you become. Here's the secret. Discomfort doesn't go away. You never reach a point where life stops testing you. But you can train yourself to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the shift. Instead of seeing discomfort as danger, you start seeing it as training. Instead of running from it, you lean into it. And soon what used to terrify you feels normal. Think about the first time you tried something new, maybe speaking in front of a group, starting a project, or walking into a room full of strangers. You probably felt nervous, maybe even shaky, but if you kept doing it, the fear faded. It became easier. Why? Because repetition rewires your brain. What once felt impossible becomes routine. That's the power of embracing discomfort. So how do you start? Begin small. Push yourself into situations that stretch you just beyond your comfort zone. Speak up in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet. Strike up a conversation when you'd normally avoid it. Take on a challenge you'd usually decline. Every little push builds your capacity, then go bigger. Take on goals that scare you, not because you might fail, but because they'll force you to grow. The gym teaches this principle well. If you only lift what's easy, you never build muscle. The growth happens when you pick up something heavy, when your body shakes, when you feel the strain. Life works the same way. Your mental and emotional muscles only grow under resistance. And here's what's beautiful. The more you embrace discomfort, the more resilient you become. You stop being afraid of failure because you faced it before. You stop avoiding challenges because you've proven you can rise through them. You stop doubting yourself because you have evidence that you can survive what others can't. That's the root of confidence, not words but lived experience. So the next time you feel fear creeping in, pause and reframe it. Instead of saying, I don't want to feel this, tell yourself, this is where I get stronger. That simple shift changes everything. Suddenly discomfort is not the enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Dangerous confidence is not about living an easy life. It's about living a life that constantly stretches you, constantly grows you, constantly reminds you of your own power. Embrace discomfort. Seek it, live in it until it feels normal. Because once you do, nothing the world throws at you will ever feel too big. You'll have trained yourself to thrive where others retreat. And that's when people begin to notice that quiet, steady power in you, the kind of confidence that cannot be broken. Chapter 9. Speak less, command more. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful people in the room are usually the quietest? They don't rush to fill every silence. They don't try to dominate the conversation with endless